When you were finally well enough to get out of bed, you insisted on dining out here. You said you wanted to feel the sun on your skin. I was still very worried about you. You'd been very ill. But you were so frail that I had to carry you to your seat. You sat right there. And you would turn your face to the sun. I would ask the gardeners to bring as many roses as they could find.
And you put them all in my arms.
You remember?
No, it just sounds like something a man would say to try to impress a woman.
Yes, well, I was never that way.
What? With women?
I was always too busy with affairs of the state to be concerned about other pursuits. I led a very quiet, private life.
But you found the time to take care of me.
Everything changed with you.
I remember sitting here and listening to the bells ringing.
Do you remember when? What you were doing?
It was a summer day just like this one. You were holding my hand. Oh, God. I remember feeling so happy. We danced, didn't we?
Yes.
We did.
We danced.
We danced here, right here on this spot.
Yes. Just right there. You were so happy being out of doors, you wanted to show it.
And I remember teasing you about being so worried about me and so uptight.
I was concerned about your fragile condition. But you said you felt so good that you could dance no matter how weak your legs were and how stiff mine were.
What else? What else did I say?
Don't you remember any details? Or perhaps if we danced, more memories might come.
Oh, there's no music.
We didn't have any then. We don't need music.
I said that to you, didn't I? Wearing shoes. I wasn't wearing them. I remember being able to feel the stones under my feet. And I remember the warmth of the sun on my back and the smell of gardenias. I remember it. I remember all of it.
Then you must remember how it felt to be in my arms. How you felt about me. You remember, don't you? You remember that you loved me.
No, you're not.
I got carried away, having my wife in my arms again.
I told you, I'm not your wife.
Yes, you were. You were my wife. You know, you You remember some things, you can't remember others.
You're pushing me. This isn't easy for me.
Nor for me. You're not the only one here, you know.
I know what this is about. It's about finding Jonathan.
Yes. And I have to understand what you're going through in the process, but you have to understand what these memories are doing to me.
I know how painful it must have been for you to lose your son.
The most excruciating pain you can possibly imagine. But I lost more than a son. You were the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. You're wrong if you think you can just brush Catherine aside. Who she was, how she...
I'm not brushing Catherine aside, but I'm not her.
Your life and Catherine's life are intertwined whether you like it or not.
No, they're two separate things.
No. You have to be Catherine to remember. You have to be the woman that I married. You have to be the woman that bore me a child. You have to be that person if we ever want to find our son again.
I don't remember anything about Catherine.
Well, I am the expert. I remember everything. All of her dreams. Every detail. Let me help you become Catherine. For the sake of our child. I want him to take his rightful place in San Cristobal. He will rule San Cristobal one day.
But he's my son, too. And how and where he lives isn't just up to you. I have a say in this as well. I am his mother.
No. Catherine. Catherine is his mother, and you keep reminding me you're not Catherine. Well, actually, you'll have very little to say about what happens to Jonathan once we find him. I'll raise him as I see fit.
He's my flesh and blood, and when we find him, I can't just walk away.
Well, what are you suggesting? That we shuttle him back and forth between here and your all-American family back in Springfield?
No. Till now, I honestly hadn't thought beyond finding him.
Well, save yourself the trouble. As heir to the throne of San Cristobal, Jonathan will live here with me, and I will raise him.
Now, wait a minute. I want to be able to do right by our son. I do, but I can't move on with my life until I fill in all these missing pieces. And if you think there's not going to be discussion about what happens to Jonathan when we find him, you're wrong. There will be a lot to discuss. I have a good set of lungs on me, and I'm not afraid to use them.
You can't talk to me this way. I won't allow it.
I wouldn't talk to you this way if you weren't such an insensitive jerk. How can you expect me to dredge up these memories and hopefully figure out what happened to Jonathan and then find him and then just walk away from him? I can't do that. Maybe I won't tell you when I remember something.
You're acting like a child.
And you're acting like a pompous ass.
What?
All of a sudden, our arguing felt familiar.
Only Catherine could make me lose my temper like that. And that mere fact alone would make me even angrier.
Well, good for her. For me, I mean.
You know, there was something that Catherine and I used to do to resolve our problems when we had arguments like this. Do you remember what it was?
Yes. With the stupid little sword.
Les épées.
What?
Épées.
Yeah, épées. Épées, yes. I have to try to remember how to do it. Because if I do, then maybe I can remember more.
Well, are you ready for a duel? Yes, Reva.